Is there really a difference between cheap Sai and expensive? I don't know about that. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Scottykarate. Today we're going to be going over what the difference is between cheap and expensive martial art equipment. Today we're going to be focusing in on the Sai. Should you spend a ton of money, or are the cheap ones off Amazon just as good? We'll be going over that in today's episode of... Now, there's a few things you need to look at when you're trying to purchase a martial art weapon. A few things we're going to go over today. The first one going to be the price. How much should you spend on a weapon? Well, on my pair of Scottykarate Sai here, I've had these around 12, 13 years. They've been good Sai, have no problems with them. They work well. I think I spent around $130 to $150 for these. So it's a little chunk of money. So if you're not sure of how much money you're going to be spending, this is on the upper end. They do get more expensive than this, but for a good pair, expect to spend over $100. Now, low end, we'll use my little wall hanger here. They are around 30 bucks. So you can pick up a pair of cheap Sai on like Amazon or eBay for about $30. Now, with that being said, what are they? Are they just a wall hanger? Well, no. Depends on what you're using them for. Now, they are cheap, and they're cheaply made. So understand the difference. So expensive, durable, lasts a long time, fairly cheap, might not. So when do I recommend buying a cheap pair of Sai? Well, obvious answer is if you can't afford an expensive pair. So if you're living on a budget and you can't afford $150 to drop on a pair of Sai, especially if you're just learning them, don't waste your money. Buy a pair of $30 Sai and you'll move on with your life. Now, if you've been doing it a while, you know how to use Sai, say you borrowed a friend's, or you already have a pair of $30 Sai, and you're getting to where you're using them. You're using them to strike, using them to do more. You want durability, you want something that'll last a long time, then you probably need to upgrade. But if you're just starting off, I don't recommend it. Don't waste your money. If you would like to, go for it. I think they're great. I think the quality difference is just night and day. But if you just want something to work with, and you're just wanting to learn how to open and close and block and do some strikes, these will work. These will do everything you'll need them to do. So that's when I recommend it. Well, ironically, I don't recommend going up to expensive pair very often. Normally, I will say stick with the cheap pair until you're sure. Sure what, you might ask? Everything. Are you sure you're going to be staying in the martial art long term? If you are, you might pick one up. Are you sure you need that kind of quality? Then pick it up. Well, this does change. So, for example, you go into a martial art dojo, karate, whatever, and they start you out on bow and nunchucks. They do Sai, but it's kind of like a side thing. They don't really focus on it. They have maybe one kata you learn after you're a black belt. When they go to tournaments or competitions, they never really focus on those. They focus on nunchuck or bow staff or whatever. Then no, don't waste your money on a good pair of Sai because it's not going to be you. You're not going to get the value out of it. But if it's, say, one of their primary weapons they use all the time, then yeah, that might be a time to jump into the more expensive Sai. Next up, on reasons to buy cheap or expensive, it's going to be the length. So believe it or not, there are some differences in the length of your Sais. They are meant to be fit for your arm. So you want it to be as long as your arm past your elbow, about an inch. And this way, when you do your strikes, you can hit with the point of it, or if you block, if it goes down and it doesn't hit your arm or your elbow. So when you buy a pair of Sai, you have to keep that in mind. So for example, my good pair, you notice they come well past my elbow. So if I do an empty strike, I'm hitting with the point of the Sai, not my elbow. So sizing matters. So for an expensive pair, such as my Scottykares, you can start with like a kid's Sai at like, I want to say 17 inches. And they go up to what these are, I think 21 and a half inches. You can choose the increments in between. I think it goes by inch, so 18, 19, 20, 21 and a half, I think is what it jumps to. Every brand is different, so that's why I give you vagues. It's not a big deal, but you want to get one that's close enough to what you need that you can measure it. It's long enough for your arm, go past your elbow, so anything that hits, it's going to hit the metal, not your arm. If you're using it, has good weight, has good size for your body type. When you're buying these cheap ones from eBay or Amazon, God, they're tempting. They're so tempting. Because you're like, they're only $30 and I get 2 of them. What? Yes, you get 2 of them. They're $30. They're not that expensive. Most people can afford to chunk that. But you don't get any options. It is just a one size fits all. Just like if you're a bigger dude and you get a hat that says one size fits all, you put it on, it feels like your head's about to pop. It's kind of the way this is too. So they're usually around 18 inches, which is great for kids or small armed or smaller people. That's great. But if you're a bigger guy, as you can see, this is nowhere near long enough for me. So I couldn't use them in the same way. So if you're looking to have one that actually fits you and not just something to learn how to open and close and do all the fancy stuff, then you'll probably need to find one that you can adjust the length of. So you can go in there and buy one that's 19 or 20 inches or whatever you need. That's a big deal, and it can be a big deal to you. If it's not, or if you're one of those lucky few that this is the right size, there you go. One size fits all fits you. So you don't have to worry about it. Just know going in, those ones you buy online at cheaper shop, such as eBay, Amazon, any martial arts supply store that's not selling higher end quality weapons, you're not going to be able to adjust it. It is what it is. You need say a 19 inch, you're going to buy that, it's going to be an 18 inch. Just is. Wish it wasn't that case. I wish they had better variety for these cheaper ones, but you just don't. Maybe someday. All right. Last one we're going to go over is going to be the quality. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, with our cheaper version here, we get from Amazon or the internet somewhere, they're made out of aluminum. Okay. The material is a lot cheaper versus if you get one from a reputable site, a more higher quality, they're made out of steel. So you're going to be able to do more with them for longer. Cheaper ones, like I said, are made out of aluminum. Most are solid aluminum. This is solid. This is not a hollow core, which you also have to be careful with. If you check these internet sites and they get real cheap, like 18 bucks, 20 bucks, most likely what you've done is you've bought a hollow core aluminum Sai, which will work for learning how to open it and close and all that, but the second you hit some, it will just crumble. It will bend, it will break. They're not meant to be used like that. They're usually a wall hanger type, not an actual use of a weapon. So be wary of that. They are made out of aluminum. Like I said, this one's solid. You can feel it. They are fairly cheaply made. They're usually got this chrome finish that will chip off if you hit anything with it. And it does scratch and chip very easily. Now, this one has never been used in class. I've not taken it. I haven't been striking bows or sais with it. Just it hitting with this pair back and forth while moving, being on a wall, just barely touching things. And it's already covered in dents and scratches all over it. It's very cheaply made and it shows. So understand that when you go in, this could be the factor that drops it. Do you need something you can actually use to strike other things with? Because if so, this probably ain't going to be the one for you. Now with our higher quality that I bought, like I said, this pair is from Japan. These are pair of Sharedos. A lot more expensive, but comes with the price is quality. These are made out of steel versus the aluminum, like the cheap ones you can order online. And because of that, they're more durable. I've had these 12, 13 years now. They've never really done me wrong. I've been able to go to class. I strike other Sai, other bows with them. I'll use them for different demos, defense, up against Tonfa, everything else. I've struck it against everything. They do have dents in them. They are worn. If it has a powder coat on it or a coating of some sort, it will chip off. I mean, it just will. It's just a coating. As soon as you hit metal to metal, that will chip. It will dent. It'll have these problems. I'll be releasing a how to refinish Sai soon, but at the end of the day, they're real easy to keep if they're good quality. Some dents don't bother me. You're going to get them dented up again class next time, so it doesn't matter. But it can survive it. What do you think? Do you believe in the cheapos from the internet? They'll do everything you need? Or do you really need a pair of very expensive Sai just because? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. And if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell in the corner. That way you know when my video is being posted each week. And, as always, the more you train, easier the fight.